Good morning everybody, and this is your Forex Day trade setups for today. So as usual, starting off with Euro USD, and we have rallied a little bit yesterday, but pretty much into this zone of resistance. So you look to the left, you'll see quite a bit of structure here. So for me, we should be looking for opportunities to continue this journey to the downside. So that is the 8-hour structure that we have there, which is at 112.350, and then we have a little bit more structure pretty much up here. So anything sort of in this area, or alternatively a little bit higher, is what we should be looking at for opportunities to get back in the short. So 112.633 and 112.713 does look like a bit of a flag forming here. We need to see if we can just form a lower high off one of these levels. So just watch all three of these levels. 112.350, if that doesn't hold, then 112.633, and then you have 112.713, and that's when I would expect the fireworks to continue back to the downside. Does look like we're getting a bit of a crossover here, but your trend is on the 8-hour, and that is pretty clear. There's a pretty clear range break at the moment. So back into structure, reverse, and then we're looking for another opportunity to the downside. US dollar Japanese yen, kind of a similar bit of structure forming here. So the first thing is we have this level right here, and that's our 8-hour level. We'll get to that now. If we get down to the hour, we start looking for the levels closer. You're going to have a move pretty much in this area here, and possibly a little bit lower. So similar kind of setup to Euro USD. First things first, this is the level. If we regain this level today, 115.062, and we hold it, possibly even 115 dead, there is little gaps here as well, so that could also play out. Or alternatively, what we're looking for is 114.793 or 114.700. So basically what we're looking for is a bit of volatile price action up and down into this area. You'll more than likely find it's going to line up with something like that, and it's also going to line up with something like that. So that's the area that I'd be looking for opportunities to buy back into this, and then we're basically looking to break the trend line, and although that trend line's not, there we go. So we'll be looking to break that trend line to the upside, and that would validate a flag for a bigger move to the upside. So that's kind of the structure we're looking for on the dollar. And if we move across to the pound, a British pound, a Japanese yen, this is really looking like a flag. Nothing really happened yesterday, big up, big down, and oscillators now sort of crossing over almost. So I'd be watching two things. First thing is trend line. There's our trend line. Second thing is that area of what was support, which could very well be resistance. So to me, this kind of looks like big move down, consolidation. We're looking for another move to the downside. So 8-hour gives us a complete different picture. 8-hour is indicating that we have crossed over our 155 EMA. We're busy hovering here, so you'd be looking for a move up at the moment, but I think it's going to be short-lived. So if this is actually quite easy to highlight, there's a gap down here. You can see that gap from Monday. So if we break down, we should find support somewhere down here. Let's just put it on the gap. We should find support, come back, test the trend line, and then reverse. That's going to validate your shorts. And the other thing that you need to bear in mind is this little bit of structure right here at 154.872. If we get above it, sort of come back to test it, that is another opportunity for a long, and we're looking for a long up until 155.425. 155.425, if I come back to the 8-hour, is pretty big support, which if we flip that into resistance, then I anticipate we'll probably come back and have a pretty violent break of this channel that is forming to the downside. That's kind of the view that I've got at the moment. It's 50-50 to be honest. So just pay attention to this. I think London breakout strategy would give you a fairly good idea. If it does break to the downside, you probably find gap target first, then a pullback into structure, and that's the trade I would be taking for the short. So it would be come up, test the 155 breakout, and then start moving to the downside, or alternatively looking for the break of 154.872 for a continuation to the upside. Last one is Euro British Pound, and obviously we've spoken about this for a long time, but this area down here is a very strong weekly and monthly support, and obviously the bulls are going to be buying off that. Trend is still down, and what we're looking for is an area where there should be a bit of resistance. Now here is the first 8-hour level, and I'm going to put the next bit of structure in, which is going to be up there. If we come down to the hour and start looking at what those levels are, you can see we've got bits of crossover, we've got moving average crossovers, but we've got grouping of the oscillators. This doesn't look very pretty at all. Big inside bar, range bar, range bar, range bar. I'd be watching this very carefully, because there is another bit of structure right here. Okay, so 3 levels the upside to watch: 083579, 083614, and then 083725. Those are the areas to watch for opportunities to short this, to continue to the downside. So for me at the moment, London breakout would probably be the best strategy, and basically it is such a small range. You have to go down to 15-minute at the moment. So remember, London breakout is the first 8-hour bars, and at the moment, I'm just going to use that top level. Look how tight this range is. So in Bollinger terms, that would be a squeeze. So that's 55 points. So for me, watch those first 8 1-hour bars. At the moment, we're only 4 in, you still got 4 more bars to go. Draw your level on the top and the bottom of that structure, and wait. A break to the upside is going to target one of these levels. This level is quite close as well, so it could be short-lived. A break to the downside is going to validate the bigger trend continuation to the downside. That's kind of the structure that we're looking for at the moment. That's pretty much it at the moment. I suppose yesterday was a volatile day, and then we had a pretty what's that, probably 0.6%, 500-point move, but I don't think it warrants a look for longs just yet. So if there are longs will be scalps onto structure, and then you'll be looking for reversals off there back to the downside. Anyway, that's it for me on Forex. Hope it helps, and we will catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.